Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So finally we do have the official Fantastic Four trailer that will be playing before the Thunderbolts movie. We also do have the official poster of the Fantastic Four, a brand new look, and as you can see, the suits look freaking amazing with new shoes, by the way. As we can see Johnny Storm with the Fantastic Four shoes, and you have the 4 at the bottom. It looks freaking amazing. We also do have the official description of the film, and it states, showcasing Marvel's first family Silver Surfer, Herbie, and the retro-futuristic 1960s vibe of Marvel Studios, the Fantastic Four First Steps. A new trailer, poster, and film stills are now available to download and share. Opening in theaters July 25th, Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four First Steps introduces Reed Richards as Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm as the Invisible Woman, Johnny Storm as Human Torch, and Ben Grimm as the Thing as they face their most daunting challenge yet. Forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond, they must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus, enigmatic Herald Silver Surfer that is played by Julia Garner. And if Galactus's plan to devour the entire planet and everyone on it weren't bad enough, it suddenly gets very personal. So what we're going to be doing in this video is break down the full trailer, because we do have first official looks of multiple characters in this film, starting with the first scene. As we can see here, we have a show called The Ted Gilbert Show. If you pay close attention to what the announcer did state, he was basically foreshadowing that this is not going to be an origin film that we have seen twice already over the past 20 years. We saw the origin story back in 2005. We saw another origin story back in 2015. Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, and Matt Shakman did not want to repeat the exact same thing. They also did not want to repeat the exact same villain, which was Dr. Doom. Hence the reason why we're going to be seeing Galactus. So in this show, apparently, it's like a show for the characters where they get to show their powers, what they're able to do, basically entertain the audience. But they really want to sell you at the fact that the people that live in this universe and in this earth love the Fantastic Four. Like literally, there's not a single person that despises or dislikes the Fantastic Four, which is something very common in Earth 616, right? In the MCU, we see some people not like the Fantastic Four. There's some people that do not like vigilantes, etc., etc. But here, because the Fantastic Four are the only heroes in this world, the whole world loves the Fantastic Four. The announcer said 4 astronauts who went into space and came back forever changed, meaning that when they came back from space, they came back with special abilities, special powers, and they showed the Thing in the next scene. Yes, he is battling some sort of personal crisis where, he just doesn't feel like he is okay with his current form. He does not want to look like that. But the thing is that the world, right, the people love the Thing, and they tell him to lift the car because he's so strong. Of course, the Thing has to do that because he does not want to give that impression that, he hates his own skin, that he does not feel so comfortable doing certain things. As the Thing, he has to play the part because they are seen as idols and role models, and especially in New York. In the next few scenes, we do see civilians thanking the Fantastic Four. And I'm going to be very honest here. I did just explain that, there's a lot of people in New York at the very least that love the Fantastic Four. Like there's not a single person that we have seen that despises the Fantastic Four. But for some reason, this is just going to be my own theory and my own speculation. I could be completely wrong. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm trying to sell you guys on something that is real. No, this is just a theory. But for some reason, a lot of this does seem very fake to me, meaning that why does it seem so perfect for the Fantastic Four, like for them to live there? For example, like these people cherish the Fantastic Four way too much. It almost does seem like a dreamland, and it just feels unnatural for like every single person in New York to love the Fantastic Four. It's almost as if there's like a false reality being made. And yes, I know that this does sound like Franklin Richards, who has the power to create different realities, but like I've said, it's just speculation, just theories. We'll see how all of this does play out. Maybe in the movie, it is literally all the people and every single person love the Fantastic Four, but something to think about. Then we do have a brand new look of the Fantastic Four, right? As the announcer was talking about the Fantastic Four, the curtains lift up or they open up and you can see them right there. It's all for the show. And like I've said, I love the suits. I just don't know why Reed Richards in particular does not have the white around his shoulders. I do think that his suit is really missing that. We move on towards the next scene and we can see here Herbie, the Thing, and Johnny together. Now, this does give us way more context context on what's going on here. The Thing, Herbie, and Johnny Storm are waiting for Sue and Reed Richards to eat dinner together. It's one of the common themes that the Fantastic Four trailers have been trying to sell us on, is the fact that they have dinner every night on Sunday at 7 p.m. But apparently in this scene here, Sue and Reed Richards are very late. And then Johnny, apparently, I think he just gets bored and he just grabs a box of cereal and he's like, forget about this. We're not going to eat at 7. They're late. I'm just going to eat my own branded cereal. And you can just tell that Johnny was sick of it because the Thing and Herbie were cooking like some meals, but Johnny wanted none of it. Then Sue Storm and Reed Richards finally get to their apartment, and as they were sitting on the table, the Thing did ask, are you pregnant, Sue Storm? And then Johnny acts super surprised and he's like, what? No way, because the Thing and Johnny Storm did not know, or currently do not know, that Sue Storm was pregnant. But once the secret came out, Johnny Storm was just like the biggest fan, and he stated, you're going to be the best mom in the world, and then told Reed Richards, you're going to be the best dad. No, just kidding, you are out of your depth, which is pretty funny. You can just tell that Johnny Storm is going to be the comedic relief within this group. I really do think he's going to nail his role. And then a few seconds later, he says, we're going to be the best uncles ever. We do get a new shot of them witnessing like fire falling from the sky. We still don't know exactly what that is, but it is for sure going to be a big attack on Earth that the Fantastic Four have never seen. Fast forwarding to the next scene, we do finally get our first official look of the Silver Surfer, played by Julia Garner. Now here's the thing, you may assume, and many people have been assuming, that this is going to be the Silver Surfer, but just a woman. Like Marvel just said, we're going to make this man into a woman. But no, this is a alternate version of Norrin Radd's wife. This is a completely different character, and her real name is Shalabal, who did serve as the Herald of Galactus alongside Silver Surfer, who is going to be the main one in a future project. I believe the main reason why Marvel took this route is because it's all about not repeating the exact same thing. Notice how they did not want to repeat the origin story, nor make Dr. Doom as the main villain. They're doing the same thing with the Silver Surfer. They're saying, okay, we have the Silver Surfer, we know that we can introduce Norrin Radd, but let's not do that. So let's change things up a bit. They want to bring something different, hence the reason why we have Shala Bal as the Silver Surfer for this project alone. If you guys are unfamiliar with this character, here is going to be one of the biggest stories for Shala Bal. In terms of her origin and separation, when Galactus did threaten Zen-La, which is one of her homes, Norrin Radd became the Silver Surfer, sacrificing their relationship to save their planet, marking the start of their long separation. Then we do have another story about Mephisto and his deception. Mephisto, who is a demonic villain and a character that will be introduced in a couple of projects from now, did kidnap Shala Bal, erased her memory, and placed her under Dr. Doom's control, leading to her getting married to Dr. Doom. Eventually in this storyline, the Silver Surfer rescued her and restoring her memory. There was also this plot about after Galactus consumed Zen-La's life force, which is once again the home of Shala Bal, the Silver Surfer gave Shala Bal part of his power cosmic and empowering her to restore their planet. So her origin stories and biggest stories is big, and it does invite many characters. We'll see if they ever show like any of her background, like flashbacks. I think it'll be very interesting. So as she did approach Earth, she did ask, are you the protectors of this world? Talking to the Fantastic Four. And of course, the Fantastic Four were like, who is this? Who are you? What's going on? What is your plan? And notice how behind her, when she said, your planet is now marked for death, there's like a bigger projector of herself. I do think that this is how she does announce things to different planets, because it just makes her louder and everybody can hear what she's saying. But for sure, you can just tell that, you know, the civilians of New York are probably looking at this and saying, oh my God, like, bro, like, what is going on? And we need the Fantastic Four to save us. In the next scene, we do see the Human Torch trying to follow the Silver Surfer as she was trying to leave. It's very funny to see this, right? And very interesting, because this does confirm that in every universe that contains the Fantastic Four, we do see a chase of the Human Torch going up against the Silver Surfer. It is the exact same type of chase that we saw in the 2005 version. We see the Human Torch try to go after her. They end up in space. He realizes that in space, he does lose his powers and the fire does go away, and then you just fall straight to the ground. So the parallels are so similar. Another example that I could give you guys is, you know, like Thanos getting killed in every universe. We saw in universe 838 how Thanos lost to the Illuminati. This does parallel to how Thanos lost to the Avengers during Endgame. So it's the exact same conclusion, but the details of how we got to that conclusion is different. So moving on towards the next scene, and the world by now knows that they are being attacked and the world is ending. They're scared and the lights turn off, as you can see here in this scene. It's a very similar scene to how the power was shut off during the wedding scene of Reed Richards and Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four, The Rise of the Silver Surfer. Once again, there's a lot of parallels that is going on here. Marvel wants to make it very clear. We move on towards the next scene, and we see a lot of journalists asking the Fantastic Four, are we safe? And if you look at the expressions of Johnny Storm and the Thing, they're like, we don't know what to say. Like, we just have to keep quiet because we have no answers. We don't know if we can keep you guys safe because they just don't know how to deal with such a big threat. It is the first time the Fantastic Four is going to have to deal with something bigger than them. Even Reed Richards stated, I don't know, because he doesn't know how to solve this problem. Hence the reason why in the next couple of scenes we see Reed Richards looking for formulas on how to take Earth to safety, to take away Earth into a different section of the universe, or maybe a different reality, right? A different universe, because there's just no way the Fantastic Four can stop or fight Galactus and just kill him right there. He is just too big. It is almost impossible. So his next move is going to have to be, how do we move somewhere else? If we go back to the previous trailer that we saw, we did get a clearer picture of what Reed Richards was building, and what he was building was the bridge. This is regarded as the multiverse bridge. It lets users observe and visit parallel worlds to see how they do achieve peace, and this exact same bridge could also be used to travel to different realities. So you can already see what Reed Richards is trying to do here. Then we move on towards the next scene, and I just don't know what is going on here. This could be a dream sequence of his Earth being destroyed. Most likely it is Reed Richards' dream sequence, or this could be Galactus eating a different planet, or this could actually be Galactus destroying their world in real life, and it's not a dream sequence. I'll leave this up to you guys because at the moment it's very unclear. As we move on towards the next scene, Reed Richards is looking at different planets, right? This is just a bunch of toys that is for Franklin Richards, but this is for sure foreshadowing the fact that Reed feels responsible and accountable to save not just their world but their universe. And I'm going to be very honest here. I know that the whole general idea and theory coming from all people is that the Fantastic Four is going to have to exit their universe and just leave before they do die, and just leave everybody else in the world to die by Galactus, right? The theory is for Galactus to destroy everything, and to be honest, I feel like that's a little too dark, and it's going to make the Fantastic Four just seem a little too lame. Like, how are you going to leave all people that adore you to get killed by Galactus? I just don't think that's going to happen. I know that everybody wants to see the Fantastic Four fail to Galactus and go to Earth 616 and be in the MCU, but I just don't believe that's how it's going to happen, like the process. I do believe that the Fantastic Four will be in the MCU by the end, but I just don't think the universe and all of its people are going to die by Galactus. They're really trying to sell you at the fact that these people, they care about the Fantastic Four, they adore them, and I just don't see the Fantastic Four failing them. Look at the Deadpool Fox example. Everybody was speculating that Deadpool was going to kill the Fox universe, and that's it. Deadpool was going to end up in the MCU, but that did not happen at the end of the movie. Deadpool and Wolverine continue to live in the Fox universe. If there was truly a time to kill a universe, it would probably have to be during Secret Wars, but not at any time now. Here we do get a new look of the Fantastic Four, possibly looking at Galactus. Once again, I love their suits. It is amazing. Then we do have finally in the final clips, Reed Richards stretching with his powers. We have Sue Storm with her powers. We have the Human Torch flying through the water, the Thing running through a bunch of things and buildings. It is amazing. You can just tell that, you know, the CGI still needs to be polished. There's a lot of things that have to be worked on here, but it is great to see that, you know, Reed Richards is like up in the air, stretching, using his powers. We have not seen that yet, and finally we do have it here. I think that he looks amazing. Then they ended with a final scene of Reed Richards talking to everybody and saying, we will protect you. So it is a huge battle, and I don't believe the Fantastic Four is going to fail here. I believe that Marvel is trying to sell us that, you know, it is a big battle. It is a battle that is very uncomfortable to the Fantastic Four, but they will find a solution, and the universe is not going to die. The Earth is not going to die by Galactus. There will be a solution. So overall, I do love this trailer. Like, my final inputs is going to be this. It does sell the story. I want to see what happens. I love the whole vibe of this movie as well. The futuristic retro city that they're building here, it looks freaking amazing. I love the soundtrack as well. It's beautiful. It's very different to any other MCU film, and you can just tell that whoever were the writers, the directors, the people who had concepts of what this movie should look like, they really did try. So far, everything looks like a piece of art, from their suits to the city, the soundtrack, the storyline, the dialogue. All of this seems amazing, and I just cannot wait. So that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.